The politics as well. Is it jitters over France that is leading the euro lower, or is there something else going on?
Well, I think it is essentially France. And so if the Brexit and Trump playbook has taught us anything, it's that spot FX markets trade political events with such a narrow focus. Now, if you look at the options market, there is a bit of nervousness creeping in. If you look at Euro Yen and Euro Swissy 1 month risk reversals, these are the lowest since December, which means the cost of Euro downside protection is creeping up as we approach those actual French elections at the end of the month. Now, one type of, the politics is a bigger question, and there's a big picture here with the euro and politics. And we look at sort of like the IMF COFA reserves data, which we talked about. And essentially here, this is telling you that one type of investor, central bank reserve managers, may be losing faith in the euro. And now what we saw in the latest data was a decline in the euro reserve share.
This is so important. I'm going to hold back here. This is data which has had a very big debate in the last 24 hours or so, and people have been debating whether global central banks, obviously not the European central banks, global central banks are losing faith in the euro and lessening holdings. This is very important.
Yes, and so we weren't expecting a decline in the euro reserve share. We were actually looking at it from a sterling point of view. It's really relevant for Brexit. But we've seen a structural decline in the euro since about 2009. Now, trends in reserve shares are really slow moving. It's worth noting that they're not really telling you on a quarterly basis, but it is a signal that maybe some group of investors are losing faith in the stability and the safety of the currency.
Is it possible that it's renewed faith in the dollar as opposed to losing faith in the euro?
Well, we're not seeing the dollar share really change too much. And I think the big picture trend was always that the dollar share was always going to come off as sort of being the world's currency. In actual fact, we're seeing the rise of other currencies taking over, really, and so the euro replacement is coming from elsewhere.
If it is, in fact, a losing of faith in the euro, do you think it's down to the political risk you just touched on, or is it more about this inflation picture? Because it seems to me that we watched the leg down in the euro as soon as that inflation data came in at 1.5%, much lower than many were expecting.
I would argue that this sort of story is a big picture story. So even if we jump through the hurdles of the French elections and the German elections, our economists note there's going to be Italian elections over the next year as well. So as a big picture investor, you're asking yourself, do narrow small wins in these elections paper over the populist cracks? And in actual fact, it is cautious. Investors are cautious here.